You know, from the bustling construction sites in Lagos to the huge, sprawling farmlands all across the country, there's a new technology taking to the skies. It's transforming Nigeria right from the air. We're talking about drones, of course, and their rise has been absolutely revolutionary. But with all this new power comes new rules. So how exactly is Nigeria managing this boom? Well, let's get into the new rules of the sky. And you know, this isn't some far-off dream. It's happening right now. This quote from African Land really just hits the nail on the head. Drones aren't just cool gadgets anymore. They're becoming critical tools. They're streamlining these massive projects and giving Nigeria a real smart edge in its development. And the sheer scale of the opportunity here, it's just massive. I mean, just take a look at agriculture, which is a cornerstone of the economy. This chart says it all. Almost 70% of farmers are still using manual sprayers. You can just imagine the enormous potential for drones to bring incredible precision and efficiency to a sector that literally feeds millions. Okay, so here's our flight plan for this explainer. First, we're going to look at the drone boom that's already happening. Then we'll dive into the rules of the sky. After that, we'll cover what it takes to fly legally, how you can actually go pro with this, and finally, what the future of flight looks like in Nigeria. So, first up, Nigeria's drone boom. And look, we're not just talking about a few hobbyists flying around. We are seeing drones become total game changers in some of the country's most important industries. I mean, just picture this. A single drone can conduct a survey on a construction site in a few hours instead of days. It can monitor a highway project with pinpoint accuracy. It can help a farmer know exactly where their crops need water or fertilizer. It's even helping to plan the smart cities of tomorrow. From real estate to farming, the uses are just as diverse as they are impactful. Okay, so this all sounds amazing, right? It's powerful, it's accessible, which brings us to the big, critical question: can just anyone go out, buy a drone, and start flying it over Lagos or Abuja? Well, the short answer is a very, very definitive no. And the reason that answer is no is because Nigeria's airspace is very carefully managed. So that brings us to our next section, the rules of the sky, and the key organization in charge of it all, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, or as you'll hear it called, the NCAA. The NCAA is basically the top regulator for anything and everything that flies. So it doesn't matter if it's a massive passenger jet or a tiny little quadcopter drone. The NCAA's job is to make sure that whatever is up in Nigeria's airspace is operating safely. And at the very heart of all Nigeria's drone regulations is one core guiding principle. It's this: an unmanned aircraft has to meet the exact same safety standards as a manned one. That means a drone can't create any greater hazard to people or property than a traditional airplane or helicopter would. For them, safety is everything. So, what does that safety is everything principle actually look like in practice? Well, if you're even thinking about flying a drone in Nigeria, these are the key regulations that you absolutely positively have to know. Okay, first things first, you got to understand the two main ways you can fly. The most common is called visual line of sight, or VLOS. It means exactly what it sounds like. You have to be able to physically see your drone with your own eyes, no aids, at all times. That usually keeps you within about 500 meters horizontally and 400 feet up. Then you have the more advanced stuff, beyond visual line of sight, or BVLOS. This is for serious operations where you're flying the drone where you can't see it, and for that, you need special permission and some very sophisticated detect and avoid tech on your drone. All right, now for the golden rules. These are the absolute non-negotiables. You can't fly over people unless they say it's okay. You can't fly in crowded areas without special permission. You have to stay far, far away from airports. That's a huge one, at least 4 to 5 kilometers. Keep it under 400 feet off the ground, and always, always give way to planes and helicopters. And the biggest rule of all, just never ever fly in a way that could endanger anyone or anything. Now here's a legal term from the NCAA that you absolutely have to understand: aerial work. This basically refers to any flight where you are getting compensated. And that doesn't just mean cash. If you're getting a service in return, or even just the promise of a future payment, if any kind of value is changing hands because you flew that drone, it's no longer a hobby. It's now a commercial operation, and that means you need a whole different level of official approval.
So what if you want to be one of those professionals doing aerial work? Let's say you want to go pro. What does that path actually look like to become a certified commercial drone operator in Nigeria?
The golden ticket for flying commercially is called a Remotely Piloted Aircraft Systems Operator Certificate, or ROC for short, and getting one really boils down to 3 main steps. First, you have to prove you know your stuff. That means passing theory exams on the ground and a practical flight test in the air. Second, you have to create a super detailed operations manual. Think of it as your company's safety Bible, outlining every single procedure. And third, you bundle all of that up and submit it to the NCAA for their official review and approval.
And there's one more really important requirement for going pro. This is non-negotiable. You must have proof of adequate third-party liability insurance. It's mandatory. This protects the public, it shows you're accountable, and honestly, it's what makes the entire industry professional and trustworthy.
So what does all this mean for the future? Where is this all going? Well, it means Nigeria is aiming for this really powerful balance, pushing for incredible innovation while at the same time making sure that safety is ironclad.
And if you're wondering if there's even a demand for all this, get this. Let's go back to agriculture for a second. A recent study found that over 92% of Nigerian farmers are willing to pay for drone services. They see the value. They want the tech. The market is not just ready, it is waiting for certified professionals to step up.
And that, right there, is the key takeaway. These NCAA rules and regulations, they aren't hurdles trying to stop innovation. They're actually the foundation for it. By creating clear, safety-first rules, Nigeria is building public trust and helping create a professional, thriving drone industry that can grow and innovate with real confidence.
So all this brings us to a final thought. The drone revolution, it's not coming, it's already here. It's reshaping our cities, our farms, and our very skies. The foundation has been laid, but the job isn't done. So the question for all of us is this. As we move forward, how do we continue to make sure that this incredibly powerful technology serves everyone, both safely and effectively, for years to come?